It should. So we are live. This started out to be Shooting the Shit with Tom and Mark podcast. Mark has not been here for the last two of the three total podcasts we've done. So we may rename it to Tom and whoever wants to show up that particular day show. But still ample shooting of the shit of all colors, shapes, and sizes. Nothing's really off limits. Nothing's really in the crosshairs either. I'm not really worried about how long it takes to get through this. I'm more worried about having real conversation and kind of the thing. I'm excited today because I have a friend who I've watched grow for a long time and seen literally, manifest his destiny over the course of almost 10 years. We were talking about this earlier. I think it's almost 10 years. I'm going to go from here to here. I'm going to go from folding towels at the counter, at the gym, to being the best trainer in this entire facility. And I'm going to do it within the next 10 years, probably within 5. And it didn't matter. What I loved about this guy was he is no different scrubbing toilets than he is buying gold watches. I don't know if he owns a gold watch, but the point is that he brings the same, good vibe to everything that he does, regardless of whatever the task is. And it's a big reason why he has produced and not, quit like all you other motherfuckers. So anyway, I just am really excited, and he agreed to come on. I was like, yeah, because this is a great way to kick off like kind of the realness of the series. Up until this point, it's not really been about any one thing in particular, but maybe about something recent that happened or something that, was really bad news for the industry or something like that. But this is the first time that we really get to reach into the mindset side of who I am as a person and share some of the people that I share philosophies with, that I share. What's funny about fitness is that, I always say fitness is a lifestyle, but it's more of a lifestyle than people give it credit for, because it's not just, doesn't just stop at the food in the training. It is so much also, and he's dying to jump in right now. I know he is. So much more to do with what's going on between here. And so he'll have plenty of time to tell us all about that, I promise. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to shut up for a second and let Keith introduce himself. But I just want everybody to know that, I'm overjoyed, because this is the quality of character and integrity of this individual is above reproach. And I'm just so proud to call him a colleague and a friend. Welcome.
Hey, Tom, first and foremost, man, I just want to say thank you for having me on the show. It's rare for me to come out in public and actually talk about, what's going on in the fitness industry, what's going on behind the scenes. Because nowadays, if you talk, you might mess around, get in trouble, especially when you're speaking that real talk. But man,
it's
you see his hat. You see what he's rocking right now. Yeah, I gotta get him one of these Be Relentless hats too. That's gonna come soon. We're gonna say that for later on in the show. But like you said, I am a San Antonio native.
Plenty of 911 for you.
We got all the above. Whatever you need, we got it. One-stop shop. But San Antonio native, grew up here, left when I was 18 to go play basketball at a boarding school after graduating from high school here, just for the exposure and experience. From there, I got recruited to play basketball for 4 years in New York at Union College, D3 Level Art School, which is a dope experience, just meeting different people from different cultures and different backgrounds, which has helped expand my own mental, in terms of critical thinking and being able to analyze different situations. So it's been a dope journey up until that point. I met Tom, like you said, 10 years ago after I got out of the school at Gold's Gym, just kicking it at the cafe. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, what's going on? What's good with you, man? And we started talking like that. Ever since then, we've been super cool.
Literally kicking it at the cafe with the only girl that worked there.
Right. Shout out to Katarina. If she sees it's cool, awesome. If not, same thing, cool, awesome. It don't even matter. But that's the thing. That's what our friendship has been founded on, just literally shooting the shit.
You know, I just realized.
What's up?
There's been, from that core group of people,
man,
a lot of people who have kind of, I'm trying not to yell because the reverb, those of you can probably hear it, but whatever.
Yeah.
But like, hit me. So basically, like, it just hit me. You know, so many people from just our little core network of like everyday interactions, whether it's like, you know, the other girl who used to work the front desk, who then became like a beauty pageant person, and then now she does the camera work for Spurs and stuff. And there's just so many people from that. And maybe it's just the location of the gym or whatever, and just those general people. But like, even Joe Reinangle used to be over there. Kim Reinangle trains over there. I know you know Kim. Kim's, yeah. You're not on. Turn on.
My fault. I gotta get used to using this mic. I'm not used to being mic'd up, but going back
this fancy shit. He's just not used to.
Yeah, I live under a rock. You know, society is sometimes not for me. But anyway, Kim, Randy, Ryan, all of them, Tyler, they're at the gym I work at every single day for the most part. You know, getting that workout, and they're consistent. Like, they're the most consistent couple in fitness that I know and that I've seen in the past 7 years. So shout out to them. Because they helped me out a lot too.
Nothing against that, really, and I'm making myself look stupid because I can't remember the name. But there's a group out of the northeast. Riley.
Oof.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
It's like Cindy Ray Riley or something like that. Anyway, it might even be Texas, but anyway, she's pretty badass too. Just. You know,
yeah.
I'm busy working, not keeping up with who's in the rankings.
That's why I live under a rock. You know what I'm saying? I miss certain things because I'm always at the gym, push-ups, pull-ups, and all this other stuff. But anyway.
So,
go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
Going
back to my background, I guess. So I met you at Gold's Gym. Cool. That was 2014, 15, somewhere around that time period. And I had no idea that Be Relentless or Relentless PT was even going to become a thing.
You did.
Nah, because I'm a believer in God first and foremost. So before I even started my fitness journey, my personal training career, I was like, man, what do you want me to do? Because I surely don't know. Yes, I wanted to play basketball overseas at a certain point. You know what I mean? Yes, every kid who plays ball growing up wants to make it to the NBA, and that's cool and all. But there's a lot of bumps and bruises that come along with that. So I wasn't 100% sure that I wanted to pursue that as a professional career. So when I first saw the trainers at Rogers Ranch, I was like, okay, this is a very knowledgeable group of trainers. It really is. An all-star team, if you will. Creme de la creme. But at the same time,
that group specifically, 2 or 3 of them.
Yes.
Elevated
the fitness game, for sure.
I mean, that's what made that gym. Exactly.
There's no other way you can say that. And one of those guys that really became my mentor while I was there for at least 3 to 4 years, Jason Padilla. He's doing this thing at SoFit now, killing the game too. But once again, a very knowledgeable trainer. And I had the luxury of working with all these knowledgeable trainers. But I always felt like I had something to give. And I always felt my motivation was a little bit different too. And that just comes from hooping.
That brings up a really good point that I want to just hone in on for a second, because, you know, this is a guy I told you from the beginning. He was as happy folding towels as he was, you know, getting to work out himself or become a trainer or do all these other things. It's because of that attitude that, you know, he was accepted and mentored by these insane. And when he dropped, I almost dropped Jason, but I wanted to let him be the one to drop Jason, because Jason Padilla is just a guru as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he is, and that's what it is. When you're going to be successful at his level, you have to be obsessed, and that man is 100% obsessed, and it showed through. in his work ethic. It showed through in your work ethic. And like once I saw you starting to drift towards him, I knew it was going to be something special. So it was really cool to watch over the years while I was sitting there bombing all those threes and throwing down dunks, and you couldn't hit a shot to save your life. That never ever happened, just so all of you know. But yeah, I mean, just I want to throw in the credibility, the folks. You don't understand. There's personal training, and there's a couple tiers of personal training, and I got to get this off my chest. First of all, you're going to go into a LA Fitness, and you're going to pay for your bottom level personal training. What you're getting is somebody who went through a couple days of training before you and was taught the things that they're teaching you.
Talk about it.
That's it.
I can expand on that. I'd love to expand.
Go for it.
So that is a major issue in the fitness game today. Is you have a lot of what I call clout chasers who aren't actually about working out. You know, they want the get rich quick scheme. So let's say they look like they're in shape. They're gonna post all their pictures on Instagram. They're gonna talk the talk. They're gonna
we're gonna go there.
No, we definitely have to go.
We're gonna get real deep in that, but start with let's start with the these people who literally get certifications at gyms like LA Fitness, called LA Fitness certification, which means I know where to find the dumbbells and
in the bathroom.
You know, I am allowed access to the private closet now.
Right. And as a customer, as somebody who doesn't know anything about fitness, it's easy to bamboozle somebody like that.
Because you're not being sold by that person. You're being sold by somebody who's a trained salesperson. You're not being trained by somebody who's a trained trainer.
At all.
You're being, that's what he's talking about, being bamboozled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got you.
You're getting sold shit. And for what's sad is for comparable price at a private facility, you could have somebody who's so much
more
better.
Knowledgeable. Oh my gosh.
But you don't know any better because
this is all you see.
Blinders on. And you're just like, oh, that's my only option, training at that gym?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
God forbid you Google another gym.
And then do diligence. Do your research ahead of time so you know exactly what you're getting. Like I've seen a lot of people train with specific trainers. The trainer has no idea what they're talking about, and they're charging $75 to $80 a session for that hour. So now that personal training session becomes detrimental to not only your wallet, but your body too. So it's a lose-lose situation that you're engaging in blindly because you didn't do the research. You know?
I mean, I think that's my big, that's the reason I got out of training, other than I got tired of people quitting. Surprise, surprise, I'm a Marine. I don't like quitters. I don't like the fact that it's even like allowable. Fuck the fact that I quit doing it. Fuck you. Okay? I quit doing it because I don't like doing it, and this is a free fucking country. So, you know, fuck off. But you know, I was the kind of guy, I was like, you know what? I will get up and I will go grocery shopping with you. Call me at 3:00 in the morning and I'll talk you out of eating the ho-ho. Like, let's get this done. You know, I had clients showing up late who I'd gone shopping with fucking McDonald's mustard on the side of their face. And it's like, all right, let's warm up. 4 minutes in, I'm wondering if she's going to puke or not. I mean, how am I supposed to train somebody like that? How am I supposed to feel good about taking that person's money too? And you know what the fucked up part about it is? At that level, you're not the one taking their money. It's the corporation that's taking all the cut of the money. So just to set the record straight, all the gyms that exist, because Keith's not allowed to say a whole lot of this because he's an employee. I'm not.
I ain't no employee. I'm independent.
Well, he corrected me. He said he's not an employee, he's an independent contractor. He, for the sake of his business, should not say this, but I will, because I have no skin in that game whatsoever. The trainer hardly ever gets a fair share. The trainer hardly ever come back on. The trainer hardly ever gets the paycheck.
What they're worth. They're doing all the work in the facility in that session. Yet your I'm not even gonna call any like names out, but I'm gonna say your corporate gyms take a lump sum of cash from the trainers while working their fingers to the bone. Trust me, I know. I experienced it for a certain period of time, and I watched other people who've been there longer than me go through that struggle too, which is painful to see.
And it's to an extent, it's like uh, it's a sales process, right? So LA Fitness is what I call a corporate gym. That's what it is. It's a corporate gym. And then you've got, semi-corporate gyms where you can have people who can come in and rent space and then just pay a flat rate every month to come and train their own clients. Some of them might charge you a small fee per client or something like that if you're using a lot of their space. But if you hang around long enough, you just might stick around and make it a better place. And you might improve the place and you might create, something special. And, for a while, Gold's Gym and Rogers Ranch was a special, special place. There's just like this chunkiest like 10 years where Gold's was just like nothing like it. And now, like, I don't even want to go. And anyway, I don't want to get too far off, so I'm going to bring us back into this a little bit because we kind of shot the shit a little, and I know we're going to keep doing that. But it was important just to let him, kind of talk about where he came from, the fact that he trained under some pretty. He's damn lucky to be able to train under some of the people he was able to train under, and the fact that he saw that opportunity and jumped through that hoop and went right at it and grabbed it by the throat, and stomped on its neck and squeezed every bit of juice out of that, is indicative of a smart man. And so I saw that. I saw his positive attitude no matter what. This is the guy that I don't think I ever saw not smile. Like, you got those people in your life that always fucking smiling, like even like sometimes because they're high and they're walking around and they're just like laughing because they're high. Like he's that guy, but he may not be hot.
Nah.
Anyway, let's move into the agenda. Kind of come back on. I think you might still be off.
Yeah.
Should turn this down. That should be easier to hear. Yeah. So I kind of want to start like I went over some key points, right?
Definitely.
And I gave those to you because I thought they were sort of the general things that stuck out most that would be easiest to kind of talk about.
Definitely.
Without limiting, without giving us too much room.
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned you always smiling. This is a no bad vibes, like always kind, like out of his way to be kind. Like his mother would be proud if you're watching.
I hope she hears this because she says
if she's watching, if she ever hears this, she raised a kind human being.
You heard it here first, Mom. I'm letting you know. You heard it here first.
And again, just your attitude determines so much, and it will determine, your altitude at some point in life. Altitude is a sign of a good attitude and good aptitude. And this guy is just going up. So anyway, I want to talk a little about aura. And aura being like what you put out, why you put it out, how you put it out, how do you get to that state?
Mm-hmm.
Like why are you always so nice? Why are you always so kindness first? Tell me, like, let us in to understand how you've arrived at a place that a lot of us would like to be.
Man, I'm gonna start off time by saying that realistically speaking, I'm probably not always the nicest person out. You know what I'm saying? I'm human, so I have my fault, my flaws, and my faults, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm blessed to be here. You know what I mean? Like my mom always tells me you were 3 pounds when you were born. You're 2 months early. So I really fought my way into this world in the first place. So every single day after that, I got to enjoy it to the fullest. So it's just a blessing to be walking on the face of the earth. On top of that, your smile is contagious. Like, how many times do you smile at somebody and they actually don't smile back? I don't care about your race, your ethnicity, whatever. If you flash a smile at them, most of the time people are gonna flash a smile back at you. So why not exercise that option? It's really not that hard to, hey, how you doing? Even if you were to fake it, it's not that
It
hard.
is that hard though.
Is it?
Like I mean, most people are gonna say that they, you know, it's not always easy to force a smile.
I'm not saying force it completely, but I am saying force it completely. Train your brain to think a certain way, because eventually it's not going to be forced. It's going to be happy. Hey, how you doing? But then you don't know the impact of your smile on somebody. You can brighten up somebody's day without even realizing it. You know what I'm saying? But that smile goes a long way. Trust me.
Well, that's
People have
what
told me that.
that's that sort of goes hand in hand with everything we've talked about.
Yeah.
You know, you having a positive attitude, somebody else notices. They might have a change in their attitude,
Domino effect.
but it can also go right back the other way.
And if it do, hey, you take that as an L.
Right.
You ain't get a smile back that
Oh
day.
no,
Cool.
not about a smile, but
Oh.
if we choose, what I'm getting to is a choice. You can choose to have the dominoes fall forward,
You can.
or you can choose to have the dominoes fall back.
You can. Factual.
And so my point is less about like, I know you're not always, the happiest go luckiest person on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
but overall you choose to be happy.
Yeah.
Therefore you choose to behave like a happy person.
For sure. For sure.
So that is kind of where I want to steer you.
Mm-hmm.
You make a choice every day to do that. Why?
Man, it's gonna sound crazy, but it's who I am as a person. That's how I was raised. Like, my parents showed me the way. I see my dad's very charismatic. So growing up with him as a father figure, I can't help but mimic that. I'm like, I see him smiling, waving at everybody. I see him in a positive mood the majority of the time. And it was never really a choice for me to make in my mind. It was just like, this is the way things go, and this is the way that you're supposed to act. So let's get it. And it was easy like that. It's easier for me to smile than it is to like frown at you, unless you do me wrong.
Right. Well, yeah.
Naturally. But I would say a lot of that comes from my parents, if we're getting to the core root of that.
That's interesting because a lot of the things you didn't meet. A lot of the things I see lately, you have a lot of people who are talking about how they survived this, victimization, and you got a lot of people who have had everything in the world done wrong to them, and every opportunity they were given was somebody else's fault that they didn't, win or achieve what they wanted to achieve. And I'm not getting into the whole trophy thing. I'm just saying that we have a little bit of a problem with people being fucking nice to each other. It's like I don't. And I'll be honest. Like, when I go to the gym, it's just funny. And here's the real reason why Keith sticks out to me so much, because I used to get so amped the fuck up in my car before I would walk through those doors. So I have my hoodie pulled down, my head pulled down. And I'm in what I think is beast mode. And here's this fucking big ass teeth and his big ass smile. And I'm like fucking up my vibe. I gotta go fucking moonwalk into the fucking gym just so I don't have to fucking smile, but it is a problem, and it's a problem. It's like I had, dude. The other day, I spent 5 hours on the phone with FedEx, and there were some of the like back to back, some of the most rude. It like go out of your way to not be helpful people that I ever experienced in my life, besides American Airlines. And I was just blown away. However, they did end up making it right. American Airlines didn't, but it was. I had some stuff that was supposed to get here at a certain day for a whole series of different timelines, and um, you know things kept changing. It kept becoming, oh, oops. Kept becoming like a I don't even know how to describe it, but essentially I caught myself uh falling into these states of like being jaded, and I was like you ever get in a car, like I think this happens to everybody. Do you ever get in a car and you spend your entire trip trying to find a song? You're like, nah, I'm not feeling that. Yeah.
So not my entire trip, but at least the first 10 minutes of my trip. You know what I'm saying? But I've been taking some long trips. I've been on tour since the pandemic started, so it's a little different. But I understand trying to figure out what song's going to hit at that moment, and you just searching for it.
Right.
You know what I mean? For sure, it's a vibe. We got the vibe in here right now. That song, that energy, that's a different setup. Once you're in tune with that, some people ain't in tune with music like that. So,
But that's the thing, is that I think that's another thing we have in common is like we don't necessarily listen to predominantly the same music.
mm-mm.
But I bet you, if you laid the lyrics of the music we do listen down next to each other,
very profound.
they'd be very, very similar.
Yeah. Substance. You know what I'm saying? You're a man of substance.
Um, you know, this is I have known so many people in my life who've been obsessed with J. Cole, and I never could figure it out. I really never felt it. Just like, yeah, whatever. I mean, he's just another rapper.
Whoa,
One day,
the disrespect.
I see this guy and
Lord
he's playing this song, and I'm like, damn, that's pretty dope. And the next thing I know,
that's all I listen to is dope music.
Three albums.
3 albums later.
8 hours later.
3 other mixtapes later. He's diving in deep.
And I'm like, I think I shot him a text. I was like, all right, well, hey, I like J. Cole now.
You and Andrew Gonzalez, bro. Both of y'all. I put both of y'all on the Cole, bro.
But you know what? I'm glad you did, because it's been there's like ways to relate to things that are real. Yes. That's what I really appreciate about it.
100%. The way he articulates his words. But you gotta really listen to his words. Like, if you a stupid ass dude, excuse me. Am I allowed to say that?
Yes.
Okay, word. If you're a stupid ass dude up top and you always listen to mumble rap and stuff that has no substance, I don't expect you to enjoy Jermaine Cole. I don't at all.
Right.
There's no way.
Because you're a person of substance.
A person of substance. I'm trying to stimulate my brain cells up top. I ain't trying to be sitting there like a bump on a log.
So speaking of that, let's dive into mindset.
Awesome.
So when we first met, the first couple things I told you were love training, quit because I hate quitters, keep up your attitude and it'll take you places. I don't think I've ever seen you not working hard. but it doesn't mean that, like, I can't just walk up to Jason Padilla and say, "Hey, Jason, will you teach me how to be a world-class trainer?" Because he's going to look me dead in the face. And if he doesn't, like, front kick me, like, between the eyes, he'll probably literally just look at me, say no, and then whip me with his dreads as he flips around and walk away. Like, this guy is one of those people that you don't get into his circle until you've proven you deserve to belong in that circle. And like, Keith is somebody who penetrated that circle. So tell me how you penetrated the circle of somebody that we both look at as an expert in their field.
Man, by the grace of God, because Tom, I don't be paying attention to what I do. I just go sometimes, right?
What do you mean?
So when I'm hooping, I'll be on go. Like whoever's in front of me, I've been trained this way, but whoever's in front of me on defense, I'm designed to kill, especially back in 2014 when I'm fresh out of college. So I don't care who you are, right? Like my coach would be like, yo, this 5-year-old right here, kill him, destroy him. I don't care if he starts crying. So shout out to David Jones and Shooting for Success, but kill this man. So Jason saw that on the court with me. Like Jason's a very observant dude, so he's always watching, always paying close attention to what's going on around him. And then I remember one day I was at the front desk and he was like, "Hey man, we're working on that too outside if you want to come through. Where's little Friday workouts?" I was like, "Bet, that's fine."
That was when they were doing like all you crazy
flips, kettlebell
like
swings.
30 people ran
like
around
a
the
lap
building
around
or
the facility, come back, and you just get down to it. So
hey, just like, for reference, y'all, that was something that those of us, I got a pass because I was veteran at that point, even though I was 25 or whatever, however old I was. I got a pass because I've already run more in my 5 years than you ever fucking will in your life. So
shit, me too.
Don't ask me to run.
See, I'm the complete opposite. I ran so much that I'm like, yo, when we run it, you know what I'm saying? So it can go one or two ways, it can go up and go down. But I was like 2 o'clock.
What do you weigh? What are you weighing in right now? At
like 205.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew some shoulders.
This is a dude that, by the way, when I first met him, he probably weighed
like 180, if that, 175. So I used to.
I guarantee you, this dude, maybe only because of his height, but if you were to look at him in a picture, you'd guess 165.
Yeah. I was in cardio mode. I didn't even like lifting weights like that. I did it because coach was like, "Hey, you have a test in the fall. You got to make sure you're right." And I was like, "All right, cool, whatever." But shoot, the motivation. Like when I saw Jason doing this thing out there, I was like, "Okay, bet." Now I will say this: I had never done more than 10 kettlebell swings in my life until I went out there. As soon as I went out there, he said we got 20 of these hoes. I was like, all right, that's fine. So I start going. I get to like rep 11 or 12. I was like, oh shoot, like I gotta turn a different switch on up top because this motherfucker's about it. But I ain't gonna quit. Mama ain't raised
no. You ran into, in essence, a mirror.
Yeah, because real recognize real. Like at the end of the day, you're gonna gravitate to what you know.
You're like, oh, okay, I found somewhere I belong.
Who's just as crazy as I am.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, okay, cool. I'm a kicker with this dude. And then, shoot, I learned a lot from him. And then it just made me that much more of a hustler.
But did you just keep showing up for every single one? And he just pretty much started considering you?
Man, yes. But I also worked out with a lot of the people too. Like, I mean, Eric, Donald. Yeah. Just to get a taste of what they got going on.
And Donald had a little bit of time under Jason. And Donald,
they all did because it was a team of trainers, so we're all learning from each other. There's really the cool thing about it. Back then, there was no jealousy and envy amongst the trainers there. Like people weren't at each other's necks, so everybody got along like a little.
Well, that was also because the tenure of trainers there was like fucking 8, 9 years.
8, 9, 10 years. Like,
Like-
I remember asking because I like talked to every single trainer on the staff before I even got my certification. Doing diligence, right?
Right.
So I'm like, yo, how long you been training? How long you been training? How long you been training? 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I've been here since it was Spectrum. I was like, okay, cool, bet, awesome. I'm down to learn something from you.
Right, because you have something to offer, because you've obviously demonstrated competency
Right.
long enough
to still
keep
be
you
here.
To keep your
Like, to
job.
still have clients, because I've seen numerous trainers come through there and be done within like 3 months, 4 months. But those are mainly like your younger trainers who expect to just start winning from the jump. And that ain't how it goes.
Unless you're somebody like this guy or Jason, when you show up and you bust your ass off marketing just as hard as you bust your ass training.
Yeah. And you don't realize, but your biggest billboard is yourself. So that's one thing that Donald always told me. He's like, yo, just understand that all eyes are on you. Whether you realize it or not, all eyes are on you. And he was not wrong. There's been people to this day that come up to me like, yo, you used to work at Gold's, right? I'm like, I don't know who you are. I was just at Smoothie King on some shit like that.
Yeah.
And the girl was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, good to see you. Great to see you. I don't know who you are, but good to see you.
There are people that I've run into out in town when I'm dressed like this, who does not know who I am. But as soon as I go to the gym and I pull this thing off and they realize that I'm 244 pounds of some fucking steel.
Solid muscle. Yeah. He said he the original Superman.
Oh.
I don't want no problems.
So I went out and I ordered these. I'm going to share a funny story.
I got you, bro. I got you. Go ahead.
To share a funny story. So I got accepted to the Arate Syndicate, and once you're accepted in, you're allowed to order some apparel from them, and they have some pretty cool stuff. I think I posted a picture of me wearing one of the white shirts recently, if you want to look at my Facebook profile. But anyway, there's this black one, and I have these dark jeans, and I asked fiance, I said, hey, which of these should I wear? And I put on the dark one and put on the black one, and she didn't have to say anything. I could see it on her face. They look fucking good. I look fucking good in them. And I'm like, you know what? Like, no, but you know what? I want everybody to realize something right now. Is that like we put in work. 100%. And there's a difference between somebody who does something 2 or 3 times and then calls themselves a doer of sorts, and somebody who spends fucking month after month after month, week after week after week, day after day after day, meal after meal after meal, gallon of water after gallon of water after gallon of water. It's I guess the point I want to make is, if I contribute anything to mindset, my contribution is you will never accomplish anything without consistency. You will never, it doesn't matter whether you're a trainer like him, whether you're selling something on a website like me. If I'm not consistently, advertising, I'm not consistently telling people, I'm not consistently letting people know about the product, then how the fuck are they going to find out about it? You're not on.
No. I'm on again right now. I had to let you, get your spill in.
It's so that's my contribution is consistency.
And you can't quit. Like, you got to know that there's going to be speed bumps along the way, but you got to know that. You can't go into it thinking like, oh, this is going to be smooth. It's going to be great. It's going to be easy. And let me
also say, don't fucking, just because he's called them a speed bump,
I ain't tell you
doesn't mean that they're only gonna be this big.
Exactly. Like, you go over those speed bumps, some are like, wider and they're easier to go over. Other ones, they're real skinny and tough, they'll destroy your car. So at the end of the day, those speed bumps represent the fact that you should probably slow down in that residential neighborhood. And I think that's a lot of people's problem, because they're speeding through life, trying to get things done too fast. I'm like, yo, just slow down and enjoy the moment itself.
I
And that's like in everything, bro. That's like even when you eating your food, you know what I'm saying? You want to sit down and enjoy the flavor of your food instead of speeding through it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even make any sense.
by the way, as a recent dischargee from the hospital with diverticulitis, I probably don't chew my food as much as I should. I probably don't supplement my bites with a glass of water that's on the table for that very purpose. I drink almost 2 gallons of water a day by itself without meals.
Mm-hmm. And that's pivotal. And the simplest way, I'm gonna give y'all some fitness advice right now, right? But it's gonna boil down to like a scientific level. This right here, without this, what are you? You ain't living. There's no way in hell you're living without this. So realize that this right here is life. Like this is the reason we have life on the planet. Because if we don't have water here, none of us would be here. So why are you not drinking it?
And I'm gonna take it a step further. So give me a
go ahead, bro.
Give me a rant. Give me a rant silence. All right, check it out. I want to take this on another level. There's a gentleman by the name of Dr. Daniel Amen. I can spell that for you. Amen. Like amen at the end of a prayer, which you should pray a heck of a lot more often than you do right now. Myself and everyone included. We should be praying the heck out of everything for every reason. But that's not the point. And because I am a cannabis connoisseur, I lose track of my thoughts. So you're gonna have to give me a second to get back to where I was going. Anyway, the idea behind this roadblock, obstacle, all this shit is that like you can't. Like, first and foremost, there's no fucking manual for life. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna fuck up. How fast you get up and get back going is literally going to determine where you wind up. There's no substitute for hard work. There's no cheat code unless it's called money. This is the real shooting the real shit, right?
I know a lot of people with that cheat code,
but for the vast majority of you, it was water that we were talking about. Right. Daniel Amen. That's how we got there. Dr. Daniel Amen. He's I believe, and don't quote me on this. He's an author, but he's also a doctor of neuropsychology. And he's done over 150 brain scans. Some that are in clusters of 10,000 of the effects of THC on the brain, some of the effects of dementia and the onset of dementia and Alzheimer's. And I mean, this guy literally has done so much brain imaging that he knows what the brain of just about every bucket categorization of human being there is on the planet. Be like, hey, you want to look at somebody who's got an anger problem? That's what their brain looks like. You want to look at somebody who's got a fucking who's going to kill somebody in a week? That's what their brain looks like. You want to know somebody who smokes a lot of weed looks like? That's what it looks like. And he talks about it. He talks about specifically three things: sleep, water, and weed. Okay? Sleep, number one. If you don't get enough sleep to the point that your nervous system is able to fully recover, you're going to have problems with what's called proprioception. And I will let Keith talk about that. Keith, make a note on proprioception. It's going to have an effect on your mood. I have a bad mood every morning, so I obviously don't sleep as well as I should. But it's going to alter, like I said, it's going to alter your sleep. It's going to alter your cognitive function. In another word, your brain will not actually turn on all the way unless it gets enough water. Let me put it to you in layman's terms. You will not get full use of your brain unless you drink enough water. And then right after that, you will not get full use out of your brain unless you eat enough food. That doesn't mean fucking Big Macs and onion rings. That means fucking came out of the ground without a bajillion pesticides. And come on in.
Bro, hold up. Chime me in on that one. That needs to be talked about because people make this really complicated, especially when it comes to like sugar and fruits, for example. There's just no way that you could tell me eating this apple here and eating this Snickers over here is the exact same thing. Oh, it has too much sugar. I can't eat this. One comes from the ground. When you look at the ingredients on the back of a Snickers, right, you see a billion things. Like literally, you see ingredients that you can't even pronounce. You don't even know where this came from. You have no idea. But you're going to think about eating it, right?
You're getting at my whole food strategy.
My fault. I don't even know it's your strategy.
It's just if the whole name of it is the ingredient, then you got a winner.
Apple, Snickers, da 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 da. So at the end of the day, let's use some, I don't know, logic and let's critically think about this real quick. Because right now ain't nobody critically thinking. But
actually, let me give you something just to throw at you to give you a little bit more fuel to take this past where you're planning on taking it.
Absolutely. I'm always here for that.
Give me 15 seconds on mute.
Bro.
They did a study. A guy did a study. He went to a doctor. Got this whole thing set up, right? He sustained his BMR for a certain period of time. And then he went to the doctor. He said, I'm going to eat exactly my BMR and Pop-Tarts and Ho-Hos, and that's it. I'm going to hit each of my macros. Well, no, I'm not going to hit each of my macros, but I'm going to meet my caloric threshold. And I want to see what my health looks like if I'm at least meeting that. And so that I can distinctly separate the fact that something is better than nothing, right? So what's going to fuck you in the head is that he did that for 30 days, went back, did a full panel, and his blood work was better than it was when he got it done before he went on the whole diet. Now, the following 30 days, he went on a whole food diet, and his levels were still fantastic, although he had lost a couple inches off of his fucking waist. He was wearing different size clothes. He was a happier person. He was sleeping better. He had realized how little water he had been drinking. So I'm leading you down a road here that I want you to go down. I want you to kind of hit people with this because you're talking about the concept itself. Whole Foods, they got the Whole30 challenge. Like they have these things for a reason, but they get lost in the ocean of the fucking, and I'm sorry, I know there's some people in my family who even use this, but Weight Watchers is the biggest crock of shit in the fucking planet. I know people in my family who are still mad at me for calling it that, but it's what it is. It's a cop-out. It's a cop-out book. It takes away the accountability for doing something how you should actually do it and creates a fake new rule that as long as you put a checkbox in it, you should feel good about yourself. Well, gee, why don't I just make a bunch of businesses that mimic that? Oh, wait, there's only 50 other fucking million there. So stop and ask yourself once in a while, am I actually getting healthier? Are the choices I'm making better? Or are they just different? Because I could go from a Snickers to a donut and a protein shake. Doesn't mean I'm eating better, but I'm going to get a wider variety of crappy nutrients. Come on back in.
I got you. So basically, going back to this, because we talked about rap music earlier, and we talked about substance, we talked about mumble rap. Everything correlates, right? So when it comes to your food, you want to eat foods that contain substance, and I'm talking good substance, not bullshit substance.
Nutrients.
You know what I'm saying? Apple, oranges, watermelon, grapefruit, something like that grows from the ground. Carrots, broccoli, spinach, however you got to get your zinc, your magnesium, man. That's what you want, but you want it raw and you want it organic. Okay, you can't afford organic. Just get something close to that.
Raw. Why raw?
More nutrients, literally, because once you start cooking it, you're gonna start to fuse some of those out. Literally.
Restate that in a way. I kind of want you to restate that in a way that makes a very indisputable, concise statement, so that people can plug it in their brain and
try to give you an analogy.
Twisted. I've got a couple, but I'm not going to step on your toes.
Please step on my toes, because at the end of the day, I still have plenty I have to learn too. Any great trainer, any great successful businessman is never going to say that he knows everything. So I'm going to let you go on this one too. But what I am going to say is you don't want to water your food down. All right, especially when it's raw and organic from the jump. Something you do want to water down would be like a Gatorade, because it is so full of bullshit. So somebody told me back when I was like a freshman in college, and I didn't listen to him back then because I knew everything. I had everything figured out. So I thought, and she's like, hey, you might want to mix in some water with this Gatorade to dilute it, because this Gatorade is bad for you.
Because it's got 76 grams of sugar.
Right. Hella sodium.
Per serving.
Right.
And there's 2 servings per bottle.
And we used to drink this at like any point in time throughout the day.
The concept that they came out with it at the University of Florida was fucking brilliant.
Yes.
Because fast twitch muscle,
right,
sugar equals
recovery during the game.
Bang recovery during the second half.
During the game. You don't need this for dinner, breakfast, lunch, snacks, midnight sip.
But when you're slaying giants and crashing into giant human beings that are like Mack trucks,
might need a little boost.
Yeah.
Right? But for the average person,
that's going to get used by the time they make it back to the locker room.
Right. Because
how many fat basketball players do you see? Minus a couple over the history of the game.
Man, they still nice as hell. But anyway. Facts. So she's basically telling me to dilute something bad. Awesome. But you don't want to dilute something good. All right. You don't want to change its composition when you don't need to. Literally. That's the best way I'm going to say that. Only because I can't think of a better way right now. But I'm going to let Tom take this away too.
Well,
go ahead.
Only thing I want to say is the thing with water is you need them at least a gallon a day.
Oh, easily.
Especially if you live in South Texas, gallon and a half.
Half your body weight in ounces if you want to be really precise about it.
I think that's a better way to go about it.
Yeah, because everybody's different.
That's
everybody's. I mean, I can go off on that too, because I don't like cookie cutter trainers where you're giving everybody the same exact workout. Why on earth should everybody be doing the exact same workout if we're all individuals and we're all completely different at the end of the day? Does that make any logical sense? No, but I know a lot of people who are willing to pay a trainer $85 to $90 a session so they can get a cookie cutter workout. That doesn't, it's not even effective for you, because you might have this injury here. You can't do a push-up here. You can't do a mountain climber. You need modifications. But you don't know you need modifications because you're not in the fitness industry like that. So you don't even know there are modifications.
So I am in the fitness industry and I do know this stuff, but I went to Keith thinking, he's going to train me bodybuilder style. I didn't touch a dumbbell or a body bell.
I remember that day. It was all body weight too.
Barbell.
100%.
It was functional movement. It was, let's make sure that your body operates properly before I throw some crazy ass shit at it.
Which is
that's the other part of a trainer is a good trainer is not going to compromise your safety at any time. A good trainer is never going to put you in front of something that you're not prepared
to deal with. What, man, you got to start from the bottom and build from there. But that's a whole nother thing. The concept of building something is also becoming a lost art because now we live in a society that focuses primarily on instant gratification, right? You go to a fast food spot, you want your food now instead of going to like, and this is a decent example, but Chipotle, people don't want to wait for their food to be made in front of them, which actually at the end of the day, you might want to choose this chicken and rice over this Big Mac. And that's just the lesser of the two evils. At the end of the day, I really want you to go home and cook your own food so you can see exactly what's going into your pan.
And just to throw in there, it usually takes a lot less time to do option C.
And less work, right? So I cooked salmon, shrimp, and broccoli. That's what I had today, salmon, shrimp, and broccoli. You know what I did though, Tom? It was real easy. Prep it, boom, 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 put it in the pan, put it in the oven, and let it cook for 25 minutes. And I go do something else completely. I'm not even focused on this food. Voila. It doesn't really take work, but it takes some thought and some effort. But it also takes effort and thought to go to the drive-thru at Whataburger and sit there, spend your money, right, on bullshit that you're going to eat.
And usually waste your time.
Right. Like I've been in a Whataburger line. I'm not going to lie.
How long have you been in a Whataburger?
Well, at least 20 minutes sometimes.
Let's just take a second to talk about Whataburger lines.
I mean, they're tremendous out here in San Antonio. Everybody, especially late night, when you're going for that honey butter chicken biscuit.
Hey,
come on, man.
All I'm saying is that fucking Tech Dot should be run by Chick-fil-A.
That's Chick-fil-A live too. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about in terms of substance, you just want to cook all of your meals, number one, as much as you possibly can. And you also want to eat from the garden and drink hella water. It's life. Why wouldn't you want some of it? And no, there is no substitute for actual water. That you can get your water through tea, through Gatorade, through soda. Like, I know it's a liquid still, but it's not a substitute for the real stuff. Don't try to take shortcuts, especially if you're about it. If you're about this life like you say you are, if you're about this change like you say you are.
This does not count as water.
Oh, wow.
That's coffee. It doesn't count as water.
No, but he has his water on his desk right now.
Actually,
two of them.
If we're gonna be real,
yeah, show him. Oh, shoot.
2.
He got the trio.
And 3. And if you look,
he only gave me 1, but I have my jug in the car.
I'm almost done with 2 of these liters.
Mm-hmm.
This was just decorative. But I've got a case of water back there in case we run out. So
always strapped. Always strapped.
And you know what's funny is people, they're like, oh, well, I'm going to have to go to the bathroom all the time. Well, hey,
so what?
I've been sitting here drinking all this water. Your body's going to stretch out a little bit.
It's going to get stronger.
It'll work out.
And if you have to go to the bathroom all day, who cares?
How many people, I will put down my sword and bow down to you if you can name me 5 people who have died from drinking too much water.
I only know one lady I heard about on the radio, and this is years back because she had like 3 gallons for water.
So you don't know anyone because you heard about it on the radio.
It could be a whole rumor.
You don't know.
I wasn't there. I wasn't present.
So I have this conversation with my dad the other night. I had this conversation with my dad the other night, right? And I have been, and my sisters and everybody have been up my dad's ass about taking better care of himself. Now, my dad has been on like high grade probiotics and like that, like a little bit ahead of the curve for quite some time. So he's in good shape, but he's very sedentary and he does not drink enough water. And so one of the things I say to him every time I see him is, how much water do you drink today? Because usually I'm walking around with this big ass jug of water. Like I usually don't do it this way. I've got a galloner and I've got a half gallon. I'll carry them around. And I'm like, want some water? Kind of as a joke. And he'd be like, no, thanks. He'll show me his gin and tonic or his whatever, gin on the rocks, which is dehydrating him. So that one glass of water he had for breakfast is gone. And now he's, 2 cups of coffee, some orange juice, a beer at lunch, and a cocktail now. He's, what, negative times 20 in the negative of dehydration. Like, you need to look at it that way. You need to look at it like, I have to fill this jug of water up at the end of the day with accountability. If I don't, then I will never feel as good as I can possibly feel. I will never function as best as I possibly can. I mean, how many of you want to start every single day by saying, I don't want to be as good as I possibly could? Like, I only want to be 90% as good as I can today. Like, if you wake up like that, like, really and seriously, like, talk to somebody. I'm not kidding. I'm saying, like, you should want to take care of yourself. Like, what? That's what this is all about. It's like, look, you got 2 people right here on fucking live, whatever this is, saying, if you're scared of drinking water, we'll hold your hand and we'll talk to you about it. Like, anyway, like, I really want to get back onto, we talked about Jason. We talked about like, we gave him a lot of credit. I don't think we gave you enough credit for what you accomplished under him, and what you went on. So why don't you kind of give us the chronology of, what happened? You left Golds. Where did you go after that?
So, end of 2017, I was fed up with Golds, as a matter of fact, because we talked about how corporate gyms take your money, right? They would continuously change the pay scheme, and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I am not doing this anymore. I'm done with this, right? So I'm now trying to find different avenues on how I can get out of Gold's Gym, right, and continue to build a business. And I toured a few gyms. I went to a gym called Train Anytime, owned by Wes Gary, and I thank him for even allowing me to use this facility and really call that home for the past 3 to 4 years, whatever it's been now. But I saw his vision. I saw the gym itself. I saw the people who were working there, who I kind of known just from being in the fitness industry too.
What was Trey there for a little while?
Yeah, he was there. Trey, Terrence, Cruz.
They're in Houston now.
Some of them are. I think so. I'm not sure where a lot of the older trainers went that I used to work with, because I've been so caught up in my own stuff and taking care of my clients. But we had a solid team of enthusiastic young trainers who were ready to like do stuff.
Y'all had some.
I'm gonna tell you this: the first 3 to 4 months, Tom, I've never been with a team of trainers like that who all had like something dope to bring to the table. Whether it was, Trey's energy and motivating people through his Instagram. Then you got Cruz over here doing handstand push-up claps, and then you have Terrence coming into the gym with his coffee in hand, flip flops, jumping out the gym, touching all the the whole Vertimax or whatever.
Do me a favor. We'll follow this post up. I'll put these names down. Let's make sure we give some shout outs to your boys.
For sure.
Let's see. We need. So Trey.
I'm gonna rank them based on how they impacted me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So obviously we already talked about Jason being a mentor from the jump. That to this day he helps me out a lot. And I'm gonna say Eric Sanchez as well from Golds too. Then Shannon Montoya, who I also work with, who I've known since Golds. She came over to Train Anytime with me as well. She's dope as well. I can give shout outs for days. So I'm gonna try to keep this condensed to a minimum. Trey was dope just to learn the marketing piece and the energetic piece of how to like motivate people, right? Terrence was dope just because he's athletic as hell, funny as hell, charismatic as all get out. Billy Allen Jr. is strong as fuck. Like, I've never seen anybody bicep curl 185 and look me directly in my eyeballs. Like, bro, you ain't got to make me feel insecure like that. You ain't got to make my bicep tendon shake like that. Like, put the weight down. I'm not doing this today, but appreciate it. My man Carlos and Ray, who are there with me now, Carlos is just a very knowledgeable dude. He breaks everything down to a whole science. Ray is like my big brother though. Ever since
Okay.
I met the dude, I was like, yo, I can kick it with this guy because he's a jack of all trades, which is what I've always seek to become. And I mean, Dason, same thing. He does multiple different facets of fitness. Jim Swift, a little computer guru in the back. Give him a little shout out. He also comes from Goals too. He got fired for some reasons I will not disclose right now. But it happened. It happened for the best because when he got fired, he was at Trinity Time before me, probably about a month before, and he told me, he's like, "Yo, go check out this gym." I was like, at this point, I was really like defeated. I'm not gonna lie to you. Going back to me being human, I was like, man, I'll just kick it at Goals and figure out a way to finesse this, like I've been doing for the past 3 years. But for whatever reason, I was like, all right, let me go over here and see what's good with Trinity Time, just to see it. So I go over there. I was like, oh shoot, I can do some things with this. Like I can really open up. This gives me a whole new world of opportunity, and I get to charge what I want. And he's only taking a flat rate fee, and I can like give my clients a discount on sessions, so they're not paying nearly as much as they do at a corporate gym and Gold's Gym, but they're not paying bottom of the barrel prices either. This is, you see what I'm saying? You see the vision start to materialize. Next thing you know, Relentless PT becomes a thing in February 2018, and the ball was just rolling after that. Because once again, we had an all-star team with trainers who was all bringing something crazy to the table. So Trey with his little muscular clap in between the legs, I was like, yo, that's dope. I need to add that to my arsenal. Then I see Cruz over here on the turf doing handstand push-up clap. I was like, yo, that's dope. I need to add that to my arsenal too, right? Like I said, Terrence doing a ridiculous vertical leap fresh off the jump at 7:15 in the morning. Like, bro, ain't nobody even trying to jump like that. But I need to add that to my arsenal too. So then we all started building, like we all started feeding off each other.
Yeah.
However, and I don't even want to talk about this like that, so I'm just going to touch on it. You saw the ego problem start to develop.
No.
You saw the jealousy problem. You saw the envy start to develop. Leadership was a little shaky at the time just because the gym was just getting started. You know what I mean? So the rules were really gray area. So you have people stepping on toes. You have people start disrespecting. It turned into a mess. Now it's a little bit more chill. But I will say Trinity Time at the beginning was the dopest gym I ever been a part of, dog. On some real.
So let me. You hit something, and it's, I'm gonna take this in a direction I don't think you expected me to take this, but I think there's a really good example here, for those of you who are maybe contemplating making a change. Maybe you wake up every day and you're just like, this isn't enough for me. I'm not satisfied. Or I know I'm worth more than this. I know I'm better than this. I know I can do better than this, but I can't bring myself to do it. So there's a pastor that I watch pretty often. His name's Steve Furtick. He's out of North Carolina, Raleigh, I believe. And he did a sermon the other day. But it was over God taking control versus gosh, if I had it, and it was really on cynicism, but it was God taking control, God taking what was it? I'm just trying to remember it really quick so I can spit it with you guys. But basically, I'll roll it up in a different way. Spiritually, right? What you just kind of got at is you went over something that was an experience for you that was just it's not anything, and anybody that's ever experienced a positive change in their life, or contemplated a change in their life, there's always a lot of doubt. There's always a lot of hesitation. There's always a lot of like, what if I fail sort of stuff. I think the thing that propels people like Keith, that propels people like me, that propels people around me, I This is what I'm getting at. Sometimes, well, God will take you to a place. He will take you there, but he won't take control. God will take you to a position, but he's not gonna just do the paperwork for you. You know what I mean? There's a difference between, you know, God creating an opportunity for you and God and you seizing that opportunity. And I feel like even though that doesn't seem very spiritual, I feel like that your work under Jason personally, this is just me on the outside looking in, is that your work with Jason is what gave you the bravery to kind of at least believe that it was possible. Like I know from day one that when you said, I'm gonna climb this mountain, that you were gonna climb that mountain. There was never a question. I could see it in your eyes. I never had a doubt. But what this is really, really, really about is that, you know, God laid down a path for you, and he said, um, I have created every detail of every aspect of every outcome of this situation, but you have the free will to take choice of which way to go.
For sure. For sure.
And 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 because you took that choice, he put you in a position to grow, but that wasn't the purpose. That's not the end.
No.
And that's why when egos start taking over and stuff like that, like that's when you know that part of that lesson is either changing, morphing, or has run its course. And so I don't want to take over from you describing your progression, but because it's that place doesn't look like it looked when I used to go there and let you kick my ass. Um, the place is just, I mean, let's be honest, the place has been Keithed. Like literally, like I keep seeing it and I keep seeing it. Looks like you dropped off. Are you still there?
I don't know. I don't know how to get back to it.
What just happened? Let's get Keith back. Go to that note. Swipe up from the bottom. Yeah, click that. What it do?
Broadcast studio. Allow. I'm gonna enter the studio again, just like last time.
Yeah.
I should be back.
All right.
So
one of the things may have died.
Which one?
Is your audio on? Check your mic. Your mic's off.
It's off?
Yeah.
It's still blinking. Should I hit it?
Yeah, if it's blinking, it's off.
You hear me now?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, we back.
Way back, yeah.
So, I mean, where were we in the conversation before I started experiencing technical?
So I'm just talk a little about that. Because it is a choice. You have to take control of yourself and seize the opportunity. And one of the things I said was, I'm most impressed by your goal setting, your perseverance, your attitude, and initiative.
I'm gonna say it like this, Tom. Honestly, the goal setting, motivation, perseverance, all of that stuff, consistency comes from my parents. Though, my dad used to work at USA, right? And this dude would wake up 4 a.m. in the morning, go work out, go to work, not at 8 to 5, really get off work, come home, pick me and my brother up, take us to basketball practice, coach us for 2 more hours, come back home, do the same thing all over again. All right. And on the weekends, we're playing AAU ball. So we're going to Dallas, we're going to Houston, we're going to Austin, because San Antonio basketball is not like that by any means, for being perfectly honest. So in order to get more exposure to different groups of talent, we're traveling. But he's not thinking about how much work is involved on his end. He just wants to see us do well. So once again, that's the example. So that's where the match, that's where the fire was lit. And then when I started meeting different savages like yourself, like Jason, like David Jones, like Eric, I'm like, oh shoot, like there's other people out there like this too. And then you start to feed off their energy. You know what I mean? But you still have your own energy too. You still have your foundation. So if something over here, let's say something goes wrong in this category, okay, cool. You lost this connection here, but you still remember who the fuck you are on the inside. You still remember where you came from. So you're like, cool, I'm still going to stay gun-ho about my goals, regardless of what happens on the outside. Because my motivation is not predicated on somebody else coming from the outside. My motivation is predicated on what I want to do. This is my choice. This is my decision. This is what I'm going to put my energy into. You know what I'm saying?
And I think you also understand that your actions and the things that you choose to do affect other people.
100%. I'm very, if I'm being transparent about it, I'm very empathic in person. So I feel people's energy all the time. So if I make somebody happy, I can feel that. That actually brings me a lot of joy, just putting a smile on somebody else's face. That's why I probably smile and wave at you when I see you in the street. On the flip side of that, if I say something that's too aggressive, and coming from basketball, you have to watch how you communicate with, I don't want to say weak minds, but weak minds. Because somebody who's super insecure, if you're trying to push them too much, they're going to start crying.
This is a podcast run by a Marine.
So he understands exactly what the fuck I'm coming from because he used to be a trainer, right? And everybody ain't built like us up top.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't built like us up top. But it's the cold, hard truth. Most athletes, like, why do you think most companies want athletes to come work for them? Because they're different. They understand that the hard work, the grit, the grind from the jump. They understand what it takes to build something. We ain't here talking about practice, bro. I'm really talking about practice. I ain't even talking about bullshit practice. I was talking about practice.
This guy's going on AI.
But I was talking about, we talking about practice, bro. People don't like to practice no more. People want it today, tomorrow, next hour, the next minute. It's crazy. It's crazy. But you just gotta stay true to what the fuck you believe in. At the end of the day, you can't get distracted. And there's gonna be plenty of distractions along the way. Like you're gonna have girls trying to come at you, or guys trying to come at you, girl. All right, you're gonna have things that go completely wrong at your job. Let's say you get dropped from school. Let's say you get your scholarship taken from you in the middle of your career because somebody else is up and coming. What the fuck you gonna do? You gonna roll over and quit, or you gonna be like, okay, bet this door just closed. Best believe something else is gonna open up for me. So I'm gonna take this avenue next. And that's what happened to me plenty of times. I can go over a shit ton of opportunities that I missed or I hesitated on or that got snatched from me. Man, I don't even want to mention no names, Tom, but I remember at Golds, I was supposed to get promoted, right, to make more money as a trainer. And I was announced that I was getting promoted. And at the end of that meeting, I got that thing snatched from me like, oh, no, actually, I was just kidding. You're not promoted. You're staying at the same level of fitness trainer, even though you met all the requirements. I could have thrown a hell of an attitude, but instead I was like, all right, cool. Appreciate it. And kept going. But it's the marathon. Shout out to my man Nipsey Hussle. It's the marathon.
Shout out to God.
All day. Because going back to what I said initially, I didn't know what I wanted to do coming out of college, bro.
Well, and you didn't know, you didn't know what was in store for you anyway.
No, but I got trust and I got faith.
And people who lack those two things
struggle bad.
Well, with a situation like that, they look at that as an L.
And it is. No, it is an L.
It's not an L.
It's how you interpret it.
It's not an L.
It could be a dub. You could turn that L into a dub.
What if that person is the scapegoat for a corporate transition or a corporate buyout and is being chosen to be the one to be fired?
And you have no idea. So then that's God saving you from a potential.
This is what I'm saying is we have no idea where God's taking us with the things that are happening to us.
But he has good intentions for you.
To sit around and complain about the situations you're in and not do anything about it, or not be receptive of information from people who have been there is the most ignorant thing that you could do.
100%. But once again, going back to what you said earlier about people playing the victim and that victim mindset, and I didn't get the job, I didn't make the team. Instead of crying, go to the gym and practice. Go back to your computer, start applying for jobs elsewhere. See what else you can fucking find, but don't quit.
Yeah, I had a master gunnery sergeant told me, Devil Dog, you just need to get back in step. You need to
recalibrate. Yeah. And speaking of recalibrating, man, Tom, from being honest, when I did make that jump from goals to Trinity time, I didn't know it was gonna work. But I talked to my brother, and my brother's basically a pastor, the minister out in LA right now. He just got married. But he was like, look, man, either way you look at it, God's gonna take care of you. So if you choose to stay at goals, you're gonna be fine. If you choose to leave and do your own thing, you're gonna be fine. I heard those two things, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna make this jump, and I'm gonna be cool. Then I also went into it with hella like motivation to top, like, oh no, I'm gonna be cool because I'm gonna work for this shit, and I'm gonna do everything I gotta do to promote me and my business so I can attract like-minded people like me. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta know that you about to win this game. You can't go into it half stuff like, I don't know if it's gonna work. No, you gotta go.
It's nobody knows.
Nah.
I can speak from experience on a daily basis. I don't know that half the shit I'm gonna try is gonna work. I don't know if the number I'm gonna dial is end in a sale, or
you don't even know if the chair that you sit in is gonna hold you up. But you trust this chair.
You trust this chair, but you don't trust God.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
We actually had
and we ain't even trying to get pretty right now. We just talking.
Right. I mean, the conversation with somebody about that the other day. We all sit here with 200-300-pound people in these plastic chairs.
You better hold that thing. Hope that thing holds you up.
Eating Papa John's and dipping it in the garlic sauce, and they got
comfortable,
more faith in that chair than they do in God.
But it's comfortable.
That's not true of most of the people in the groups, but it could tied a little bit more into the food and the nutrition and the fitness aspect of things. People make a lot of Dog Duke is making an appearance, and so it's just important to be mindful. Like you're not. This isn't meant to be offensive. You are special to God, but you are not special. If that makes sense. You are equally capable, but lack equal desire. We all have the ability to align with a purpose. We all have the ability to use that purpose to drive us to a particular endpoint. We all have the ability to envision a future for ourselves and reverse engineer that future and then execute it forward. That essentially is the secret to life, the secret to success, the secret to winning, the secret to arete, excellence. So I guess, what we're kind of trying to get at is like, and I'm just going to say this part for us, is like, Keith and I really only focus on one thing, and that's winning. Winning and glorify God doing it.
I thought you said women at first. I was like, Tom, we can't say that, bro. That's part of my focus, but not all. But he's 100% correct. Winning and glorifying God in the process, and you gotta trust the process too. You know what I mean? You just gotta stay true.
How many times have you nearly tanked it?
We talking training? We talking basketball? Or we talking in general?
Business.
Man, it's a roller coaster ride. So I would say a shit ton of times. Like you go home, something didn't go your way. You're like, man,
dude. I'm saying, how many times have you almost gone out of business? How many times have you thought, I'm not sure if I need to add some extra income or not?
Tom, I'm blessed to say, I mean, at Golds, that was that.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't making
Right.
anything. So I would say maybe 5 or 6 times that goals. But I was also blessed to have my parents backing me
Sure.
at goals. You know what I'm saying? So then they kind of propelled me into owning my own business to where I've been stable
Right.
ever since then.
Right.
So I haven't had to
Well, and
worry
that's
about anything.
but you were taught
Yeah.
that in the circumstance where you either wanted to live a certain quality of life
Yeah, honestly, you know
or
what? That's why I started
whatever.
personal training, because real estate wasn't bringing enough money in for me early on. Right? Because my parents do that, but they're both brokers. And that was my, I don't want to say destined path, but that was the path I was led on at the time. And I was like, this isn't for me. This is boring. I'm not making any money. I need a side gig. Maybe I'll go overseas and play basketball. So I need a membership. And that's the funny thing, Tom. I got kicked out of Gold's Gym for sneaking in too many times at the Concord to hoop, because I needed a gym to practice in to keep my skills up, just in
That
case I
used to be
got
the
that
place to
call.
go.
Yes. So one day they stopped me at the front desk and like, sir, have a membership? I was like, nah, I don't. So they brought me into the whole office. They gave me the whole sales pitch. I was like, okay, let me go talk to my dad. He said he couldn't afford it at the time. I was like, okay, that's fine. So I ended up applying to every Gold's Gym in the city just to get put on, not so I could personal train. I just wanted a place to hoop. That's it. I didn't care about nothing else but hooping at the time. So Rogers Ranch Gold's Gym happened to call me back. I saw what the trainers were doing, and that's how my trajectory shifted.
And then they had a better basketball court.
Man, that basketball court was sick. And like, if I'm being honest, the girls at the time were dope at Rogers Ranch too. So hooping, and then they're watching you play. Like,
Look,
the
we
energy
said
was
Rogers
just,
Ranch was the place to be.
oh,
Use
I
your
mean,
imagination.
yeah. It was live, especially for a kid coming out of college. I'm like, yo, all of this is happening here. I'm trying to kick it here for a little bit. Like, I'm gonna have fun while learning everything I need to know. Sometimes I have like 2 sessions a day, and I'll be in the gym from sun up to sundown just because I'm enjoying it. I'm working out, I'm hooping, I'm doing everything. I don't care nothing about nutrition at the time. I'm just having fun doing what I do. But I've always been a gym rat. So that's how the beginning really started. But goes back to what you said, tanking in business. I didn't have no money. I had no money. I can't keep asking my mom for money. I'm 24 years old at the point. I gotta figure out something on my own. But I gotta figure out something on my own. I don't need nobody pacifying me. I don't need nobody lifting me up all the time. Sometimes I gotta get this shit done on my own. Anyway.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
I
say
mean,
on my own, but by the grace of God too. I'm not here doing this on my own by any means. This way.
you make a good point. We're not ever getting anywhere without God.
No.
My own experience,
Dude knows that.
the thing that we talked a little bit about perseverance, but not really too deeply. But what you just heard out of Keith's mouth was when I wasn't doing as well as I wanted, or when I wasn't achieving or receiving the things I desired, I went out and I got them. There are going to be times when you're going to have more opportunity than others. There are going to be times when you're going to have so much opportunity that you can't really figure out where to put it, how to fit it into 24 hours. And, I got told a couple people, 911 has not been uh, uh, just like a smooth ride. I've gone from, people who lie all the way to a contract, and then by the grace of God get kicked out of the contract by their own terms. I've I've had months where sales just slumped. I've had months where I'm like, what am I gonna do? I need more space, and things have grown and things have advanced, and you learn a lot about marketing along the way. You learn a lot about selling yourself and your capability. What you start to realize at the end of it all is that You have to believe in what you're selling in order to be good at selling it. And if you believe in what you're selling, you know, you need to get back. You're off. Come on.
But if you believe in your product, you're not really selling anymore. You're telling people about a way to better themselves. And yes, it has a price tag. Everything in life has a price tag.
You're solving a problem.
You are definitely solving a problem. And
That's all you
solving a
do.
problem, brother. What up, dude? Anyway, definitely solving a problem. You're helping somebody better themselves along the way, right? But it's not forced and it's genuine and it's authentic because you're not really forcing a sell. Like I had somebody come to my door today and he was like, "Oh man, you look like you work out. I'm selling water." Da da da. I'm like, "Bro, I don't need any water. I drink plenty of it on my own. I appreciate your time." Or he's like, "Oh well, you look like you pump some iron." I'm like, "That's cool, bro. I know your sales tactics. I know you're trying to appeal to me right now, and that's cool. But you're coming off way too strong. You don't give a fuck about me as a person. Like I don't want to hear this right now. As a matter of fact, I was busy trying to get set up for this podcast right now. So I was like, bruh, now is not the time. If I'm really interested, leave a business card, but stop harassing me at my front door. Let me make the decision, but don't force this upon me." So even with training now, I recommend a lot of different things to people. Sometimes I give free information out all the. As a matter of fact, I get free information out every day, whether it's from a mental or physical standpoint, whether I'm showing an exercise or whether I'm dropping a mental gym. But it's up to you to interpret that, and it's up to you to capitalize on that when you see it. And if you're not woken up to see it, that's not my fault.
Yeah.
I put the info out there for you.
And it's not your fault now. It's not because we just spent an hour and a half
talking about
giving it to them.
We gave you free game. Free, authentic, genuine game. Now, if you want to capitalize on it, feel free to do so. I'm here to answer questions all the time. Tom's here to answer questions all the time. We got experience in the field. We know this stuff.
And that's the truth. It's true. I just have my purpose in life, and I think this is where Keith and I share a lot of our fraternal sense is God and helping people. I mean, we have this problem with we're gonna call it a problem because anything that's good right now is a problem, and everything that's a problem is wonderful. Keith was concerned about talking politics earlier. Sorry to let the cat out of the bag. And he's like, I don't know much about this one situation. And I said, well, nobody else does either, so don't fucking worry about it.
In terms of people actually knowing information, right? Here's a prime example. Does anybody know why Kawhi left San Antonio?
I do.
Do you actually? You know some people. You know some people in high places. You might know some people who are actually in the locker room.
The guys that hired me, or who I initially hired and went into business, but screwed themselves out of our contract, used to work with them.
Left
with them, right? The same year he left.
They're in the inner circle, though, is what I'm trying to get at. I know a lot of fans who think they know Kawhi's uncle personally and all this other stuff. I'm like, yo, shut up. Stop
the Spurs. The Spurs fucked that up.
I'm sure. If I was speculating right now, Tom would know more than me. I don't know nobody within the organization like that, so I'm not gonna speak on it. But Tom, you can, because you know these guys personally. You've done business with these guys, so you would know.
It's not about so much his uncle being a bad guy.
I am curious to know why he left, though. I missed that dude. Anyway,
two reasons. Number one, there's always going to be a desire to go back home.
Of course.
Number two, the way that the Spurs staff handled Kawhi wanting to be more hands-on of his own care created mistrust and distance between the organization.
It makes sense.
Coupled with Tony Parker going on national television and dishing him.
I remember that.
Manu Ginobili dissing him.
They both did.
Greg Popovich referencing him being not present for games. I think Kawhi, and within reason, took a lot of that shit personally. And
I can see that.
And so
I can see that.
there was, I don't know if you remember this, they were in Indiana, and Kawhi was working out at a gym, and they wanted to come talk to him, and his uncle was like scurrying him away and all this stuff. And it's because Kawhi didn't trust the doctors that the Spurs have provided. And if Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion, if Kawhi Leonard wants to pay for his own doctors,
he has every right to do so.
Then
every right to do so.
I mean, let him do it.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I think the Spurs saw a very small window to keep a championship window open, and we can never fix the Zaza Pachulia thing. That set this whole thing into motion, right? Because before then, we didn't have problems.
We were rolling. We were
up
6 rings.
Just to remind you, we were up 23 points. He had 20
in Golden State. In Golden State.
That was 5 minutes left in the third.
Something like that.
We were whooping that ass.
No, we were busting ass.
And we were climbing.
No, we were headed for a 6th ring. Y'all don't understand.
And that happened. So it really, I think that's what set the chain of motion. But it wasn't a recovery from that. It was the quad.
No, there was no recovery. As a matter of fact, we've been
We've watched Kawhi not play a single full season ever since he left the Spurs.
Yeah.
And so he's got some nagging injuries. He does have a little bit of a tendency, which does come from the uncle. But other than that, San Antonio should have treated him like
royalty.
D-Rob, Duncan, Tony Parker, and Ginobili.
Finals MVP. He was Finals MVP. You got to show some love to this man.
This is a Finals MVP who was debatably Defensive Player of the Year.
Easily. MVP candidate
every year.
Come on, man.
This is the guy, and who we helped build. We took him from a 29% 3-point shooter to a 40% 3-point shooter. Yeah. We took him from a 35% 15-foot percentage to over 50% mid-range.
Easily.
And then we let him run
and go win a championship for somebody else as we watched and had to try to be happy.
Because we traded for a consolation prize.
100%.
And a guy who had a body who sort of resembled him in a completely different game.
And DeMar DeRozan is nice, and we appreciate what he did for years, but he's just not.
And thank you, DeMar, for your years in San Antonio.
Yeah, no hate, no smoke.
One year, probably first, second, or third choice for somewhere to go.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're sorry we were able to provide you the level of contention we did, so many others. But, it is what it is. I will say the Spurs get some nice 3-point shooters
this year. Yeah.
It's going to be Doug McBuckets. It's gonna be. Everybody on the Spurs can shoot threes except Jakob Poeltl and Bryn Forbes.
Nah, Bryn Forbes been working though. I've been seeing him in the gym with a friend. Oh, my fault.
He is literally the worst defender in the NBA. Statistically speaking, I'm not saying that as an opinion. Like, if you are being guarded by Bryn Forbes, you have the highest percentage of scoring.
I mean, I'm still nice as shit at ball, so I'm going to score on mad people. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now. All I'm going to say is the Spurs are going to be very young. They got potential moving forward, but it'll be very interesting to see how they grow.
It's going to be, because this is going to be one of the first years that we have no expectations.
None.
We don't know. I was doing it the other day, and I did this little thing where I copied a roster from ESPN, and I started scratching out names that weren't there anymore. And it was down to like four people. And nobody on the Spurs now has ever won a ring.
Oh, no, Patty left. We're done.
Has ever been an All-Star.
No. Nah.
Has even participated in an All-Star weekend, with the exception of Keldon Johnson.
Man, he was in the rookie game?
No, he was in the sophomore game, and he wrecked that shit.
Nah, Keldon's nice.
He's super nice.
Keldon cool.
I think we got a nice squad looking for it. Anyway, I want to get to before we run away with the evening. I want you to share with everybody what you're doing now. Take some time to really describe, the philosophy behind what you do, and we'll give an opportunity for questions. If there's no questions, then we'll start rapping.
I'll say my strength at this point in the personal training game is one-on-one, like literally personal training. Like sometimes I train two people at the same time, but definitely more hands-on. Definitely a program that is always dedicated to the individual. You know what I mean? Going back to the cookie cutter workouts, I don't like when trainers constantly dish out cookie cutter workouts to their clients. You want to make sure that you're catering to this person's specific fitness goals here. Doing the same thing. You want to treat every single client as if they're your only client. Sometimes trainers get caught up in treating everybody in the same fashion, but everybody is not the same. So you can't continue to do that. Hopefully when the pandemic starts to slow down again in the next couple of months, praying to God for that, I'll start doing more group classes. One of the things I was doing before the pandemic kicked off was teaching yoga at Gold's Gym. I'm going to start teaching at outside venues, hopefully soon, and just different parts all over the city. And that's the beauty of the pandemic, too. It kind of got me out of one specific spot, being the gym, and it allowed me to travel all over the city of San Antonio and do home sessions, do park sessions, do sessions at the gym, if you like that. And like I said, just going to different businesses and groups and doing, the yoga sessions outside. So that's been a very, very nice change moving forward. Hopefully, I have my brother who lives in California. I think I talked about him a little bit earlier, and he's working on my app. So people can log into the app, pick a fitness program that they think caters to them the most. Let's say you want to do calisthenics, specifically calisthenics and no weights. You can pick a program for that. If you want to do strength training with weights, free weights, barbell, whatever, you can pick a program for that. If you wanted to do boxing training, which I personally love doing because I was working at the boxing gym for a little bit. Shout out to my man Logan too. Boxby is a whole different situation. Shout out to all of those guys who work there. Logan, AD, what's his name? Aiden, who I've watched grow from a 17-year-old kid to a grown man now doing this thing. Boxing was pivotal for me in my growth, and I'm mad that I left that out earlier, but it just popped into my mind right now because that's one of my favorite things.
Are you gonna take me with you for one of these?
I got you, because in there's no rules. You can say what the fuck you want. You can train how the fuck you want. You can sweat how the fuck you want. You can work out how the fuck you want, and you can box how the fuck you want, and nobody's gonna say shit to you. That's the type of shit that I grew up in. That's what I understand. I understand that grit and that hustle, and everybody in there is a family, and they all busting their ass. There ain't no competition of, oh, I wore this day, I look cute. Oh, let's take a little selfie right here. Let's take this little pose in the mirror. Like all that clout chasing bullshit is for the birds. Like, if you're really about this workout, you should be leaving your workout looking ugly as fuck.
Yeah, we just watched Fight Club last night.
Like, you should look crazy after going hard. You shouldn't look cute. Come on now. Ain't no way for that. There's no way. But once again, that thing is in nowadays, and people want to do that. So I have to respect that now. To
so you go to the gym and be that creepy old dude who does
I know a few.
Does preacher curl sled work. Like, hey, fucking guy, you realize that this is for preacher curls, not so that you can fucking practice sled so you can make the O-line. You're like 80. What are you doing
We didn't
practicing?
see it at all, bro. I didn't see it at all. People going to the gym, spend 3 hours in there on a machine. I'm like, bro, are you really trying to lose weight?
I used to go in there, and I still do with the people I train with, like that I take with me just to do my same workouts, and I'll notice that majority of the people there are doing shit wrong. Majority of their people have muscle imbalances, skeletal mass
bad
issues, postural
bad
issues,
posture.
and like literally like hips that are like quarter turned, but legs are still face forward. Like people are messed up, and it's partially because they had bad trainers.
Yeah.
It's partially because they don't understand the mechanics of the body
At all.
They don't understand planes of movement
No.
or motion.
I understand the concept of balance within itself. And it's very sad to see that unawareness.
Because if you fix those things, you neurologically clean up a lot of the other shit going on. It's like, you ever think about it, you go clean your room thoroughly, you find shit that you didn't really cross paths with on a daily basis, but you're like, oh shit, I found this.
Right. And you can maneuver freely amongst your room. Like, how many people do I know have flexibility, mobility issues for days, and they have no clue about it? But you wonder why you're so stressed out all the time. You're hurting all the time. You wake up in pain. You're snapping at people. A lot of that comes from that tension that your body's holding on to, and you don't even know it.
And that could be set off by postural issues, bad training,
bad nutrition.
And nutrition is where I was taking that.
Yep, dehydration.
Magnesium. Like, I cannot stress, we have a significant saturation of calcium in our diets.
Yeah.
Yet I actually see people go to the store buying calcium supplements.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Definitely. Go to your pantry right now, if you're not like a health freak, and go read every box of everything that's in there. And I guarantee you, you're going to see the worst fake food in there.
Definitely.
So anyway,
just educate yourself, man. At the end of the day, as a person, you just, oh, my fault. Am I still on?
You're not on.
I'm not on?
Wait, not
try again.
No, you are.
I'm good? All right. So anyway, at the end of the day, what you really want to do is just educate yourself as a person. And you want to educate yourself with the right stuff. Make sure that you're going to somebody who's actually like practicing what they preach.
And there's nothing wrong with going to that person and saying, hey, look, I can't afford a trainer.
Right.
But I don't want to fuck myself up or hurt myself or to do something like that. Could you recommend a book or
100%.
a person
who can help
me, or a website that has good information that I could go to?
Because a good trainer is going to send you to a good spot.
A good trainer is going to care more about taking care of your fitness than they are putting money in their pocket.
Yeah. They care about the people. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily how much money they make, but they want to see everybody win. So even people who can't afford me as a trainer right now, I got plenty of people ask me for tips across the country all the time. Hey, check out my squat form. Hey, check out my deadlift form. But how long does it take me to look at a video and be like, hey, bring your chest up, roll your shoulders back, drop your hips, and then enjoy? It doesn't take me much, but I'm not going to charge for that all the time. I'm not, because even that good energy right there that I'm putting out is going to come right back to me full circle in some way, shape, or form. So back to the aura. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm going to help this person out, and I don't want them to get hurt.
See, guys, I don't make these agendas up for no reason with no secret intention here. This is going to come back because at the end of it, it comes back to what you put out.
Yes. Karma. It's karma. Whatever you put out a lot of bad energy, please expect to get that bad energy some way, shape, or form. You put out good energy, hey, you ain't got nothing to worry about. at all.
No, I mean, that's not even the truth. The truth is you put out good energy and sometimes you're going to get shit energy back. But how you react to that,
going back to what you said,
is again what you put back out. Again, is still good.
Is it an L or is it a dub? When you go through that shit energy, is it an L or is it a dub?
Right. So then it's all in the eye of the beholder. It's how you choose to see it. If you're going to go and you're going to be a sore loser every time that you lose at a game, then you're probably never going to get invited to play.
Right.
If you're one of those dudes that calls fouls at LA Fitness every time somebody scores a layup,
you're probably not going to get invited to play. That's bad energy out there. We don't need to see that. Play through something.
And then you see these guys at the gym. One that kills me the most is like when they go for the power lift on the flat bench and they like lift they arch their back off the bar like they're lifting 500, 600 pounds or something, and it's like 25. It's like, hey, look, I know that may seem heavy to you, and I'm not hating on your strength, but at the same time, you're gonna be fucking fine. Put your fucking back down.
Right.
Like, and also square up your fucking knees, put them over your ankles, make sure
are we focusing on range of motion anymore, or are we just right there?
Mean, so you don't go to the gym to go to the gym. Just
go to the gym to be productive. Don't waste your time.
Use it as an outlet. Use a lot of things, but you've got to keep moving.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that's the gist of what we just talked about for the past hour and a half. Is you got to keep moving. You can't quit. You can't stay stagnant. You always. What's a plant that stays stagnant? Is it growing or is it dying?
I don't think there is a state where a plant is either not
exactly. So
growing
you're either growing or you're dying.
Right.
But the choice is still yours.
I'm gonna take it a step further.
You can. Hey, go ahead.
Tomorrow morning I wake up. I convince myself that I suck and I stay in bed for 4 hours.
It's like you're withering away.
Is that the definition of life or death?
I mean, if you're withering away, you're headed for death.
I'm going for, if I'm not moving, I'm dead. If 100%. I'm moving, I'm alive.
100%.
Tony Robbins says some of the best things I've ever heard a human being say. But one of the things he does a really good job of is like understanding that motion is emotion.
I like that.
And that it is impossible to feel fear, anger, sadness, or any other emotion at the same time that you're feeling gratitude.
Yeah.
So I say this in all my videos, that I practice gratitude and I recommend practicing gratitude. And it's a tool that will get you through those times when you're doubting yourself. It's a tool that you hone to turn on when you need it. And that's not to say that all it is a tool. It's not. But gratitude is about as close to glorifying God as you can get.
For sure. And it just makes your day go smoother.
Hell yeah. You start your day off with gratitude. I dare you to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, really, I dare you to
just be thankful for breathing. Like, you see people going through this COVID stuff right now, and we still got people taking life for granted. That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
Well, and I think that
this should have been a whole wake-up call.
That's the problem that it wasn't put as a wake-up call. It was spit as a panic.
I've never seen people so fearful.
Well, and that's the thing, the ultimate rule of Sun Tzu's Art of War. One of the first ways to control people, mass groups of people, is to scare
Is to
them.
scare them.
You know who
You know
else is
who
really
else is
good
really
at
good
that?
at that?
Hitler.
Hitler.
Yeah, that's the name I
You
didn't
know
know.
who else is really good at that?
Who?
Stalin. We could go all in all back in history. You know who's good at that? Napoleon.
They sound like some very prominent figures, dictators. I'm gonna leave that portion alone, but I know where he's headed with this.
Well, the point is, I guarantee you're not hanging out with Jesus.
And if you are, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
If they're hanging with Jesus, then you ain't got shit to worry about.
No, but then that all comes back to the faith piece.
That's it, and that's where I say that gratitude is seeing through and trusting God over being afraid, and that's why I say that's the closest you can get to God, because that is literally what He wants for us.
Real simple. Just gotta tap in.
So,
but anyway, so Tom was selling raccoon tails. I just wanted to finish.
Yeah,
if y'all are interested. How much you selling?
$50.
$50. It's authentic raccoon right here. Authentic raccoon.
I don't know who killed the raccoon.
Skinned it.
Don't know if they had a license. But I mean, I'm gonna check. I don't think we had a whole lot of comments. I think this was a pretty informative session, so there's probably a lot of people who come back and ask questions afterwards. But you know, if you have, if we touched on anything that struck a chord with you, I would just ask, number one, that you share this video on your page so somebody else might have that chance.
Right. Bless somebody else with the knowledge if you don't want
it. And I would also ask that you go follow Keith. He's going to be tagged in all these videos. So if you're reading this,
it's too late
listening to this, you can already find him and Relentless P.T, the name of his company, and go follow them as well. So please go do that, support him. And if you don't know anything about this guy, prepare to just like pick your jaw up off the floor, because it's fucking nuts the crazy shit this guy does.
You know, I get down on occasion just to make sure I keep it fresh.
But we have been here for literally 2 hours, and I don't want to keep Keith, I don't want to keep you, and I know we all have things to do to keep the grind going. So I just want to thank you, Keith, for coming on and spending time with me. And, you know, we always have a good time. It doesn't really matter what we do.
Just literally shooting the shit. So it's pretty much how it goes.
I'd love to have you back with us, you know, just checking in every once in a while, see how things are going. And,
for sure.
And, you know, where life is taking us. So I'm grateful for you being here, grateful to call you a friend, and I'm grateful that God blessed my life by putting you in it. So,
man, likewise, my brother.
All, man.
Much love. A1 since day one. They don't get better than that. You know what I mean? So you're going to need people in your corner to support you. So I can't thank Tom enough.
Well, so it's been a pleasure.
Let me start crying. I'm emotional.
Yeah, we end this.
I'm an empathetic dude, man. You're going to see that tear just slide down my right cheek.
I don't even have tear ducts. They take them out when you join the Marine Corps.
Damn, that's some real stuff.
Well, we'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for checking in with us, and we enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, if you didn't, fuck you.
He said that, not me, but I feel it.
All right. You guys have a great week. Finish strong.
Always.
Love you guys.